Yeah.
All right. It's a relatively small number of people who control the economy. That's called oligarchy. But it's not just that. How do you get the information? You're in the information business, right? Or the entertainment business. That's what you do for a living, correct? So who owns the media? You tell me.
It's a few companies now.
That's right.
Yeah, and everything's getting consolidated. It's becoming smaller and smaller. And it's fewer and fewer people.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. So what my understanding is, you have 6 large international conglomerates, media conglomerates, that control about 90% of what the American people see, hear, and read. All right. So take a look. Talk about oligarchy. Mr. Musk, is that all he does is make electric vehicles? Not quite. He owns Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what about Mr. Bezos? Well, he owns the Washington Post, which is a very influential newspaper, and he owns Twitch. Oh, what about the Ellison family? Well, they just bought Paramount, which happens to own CBS movie. All right. And then you got Mr. Zuckerberg, of course, who owns Meta, which controls Facebook and Instagram. So you got 4 of the wealthiest guys in America owning us, just those. Not to mention Rupert Murdoch, obviously owns Fox, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, right-wing newspapers all over the world. You check out who owns newspapers in the United States, billionaires by and large. So you add up income and wealth inequality, concentration of ownership, control over the media. And let me throw out another one. We talked about democracy. Well, Trevor, do we live in a democracy?
People would say yes.
And the answer is yes and no. We have elections, right? So who plays the influential role in elections? All right, let's go back just to the last election. Mr. Musk, the wealthiest guy on earth, spent $270 million to help elect Donald Trump, right? $270 million, that's true.
Yeah.
And his reward, these guys don't make investments without getting something in return. True? I mean, they don't do it out of the goodness of their heart. So forget all the tax breaks and other breaks that he got. He got to run the government for 3 or 4 months and impose his right-wing extremist ideology on the American people. I'll give you another example. There was this so-called big, beautiful bill. What happens if a Republican were to stand up and say, you know what, I looked at this bill, it ain't a good bill. And it happened. There's a guy named Tom Tillis. That name ring a bell to you? He's a senator from North Carolina, not the world's most famous senator, just kind of a typical conservative Republican. He made the mistake of actually reading the bill. And he discovered that several 100,000 people in North Carolina were going to lose their health insurance. He says, you know what, I can't support that. You know what happened to him? Literally within hours, Trump was on social media ripping the hell out of this guy. Billionaires were saying, we are going to, we got a primary opponent against you. And I think in a day, he said, forget it, I'm out of here. I'm not running for re-election. So right now, what oligarchy is about is not only controlling the economy, controlling the media, it is also controlling the political process.
Yeah.
And it's not just Republicans. Kamala Harris had some 80 billionaires contributing to her campaign. And I think that resulted in her running a much more conservative campaign than she should have run. It was an election that she should have won, in my view. She lost it because of conservative influence from the billionaires who told her not to speak up for working families. That's called oligarchy. Does that sound like an oligarchy to you?
It sounds like an oligarchy. The only thing that comes to my mind is that I think of an ecosystem. Any ecosystem goes out of balance when one species is sort of allowed to thrive by itself without a natural predator of some sort.